Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel where I share the most chilling, real-life inspired stories of betrayal, survival, and redemption. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on these edge-of-your-seat tales. And before we dive in, drop a comment below, letting me know where you're tuning in from. Whether it's the bustling streets of New York City, the sunny beaches of Miami, or the heartland in Kansas, I love seeing how these stories connect with folks all across the US and beyond. Your comments mean the world to me, and they help the channel grow. All right, let's get into this gripping story. This one is called Shadows in the Sunset. The golden hues of a Los Angeles sunset painted the sky outside. LAX that Friday evening, but I barely noticed. I was too busy fighting back the exhaustion that had become my constant companion. You know, that bone-deep tiredness that sneaks up on you after years of pretending everything's fine? That's where I was. My name is Elena Ramirez, and on the surface, my life looked like a dream straight out of a Hollywood script. My husband, Marcus, was a rising film producer, charming, ambitious, with that killer smile that could light up a red carpet. We'd been married for 7 years, and to the outside world, we were the epitome of LA glamour. Beach house in Malibu, luxury cars, and our adorable 5-year-old daughter, Sophia, who was the light of our lives. But lately, cracks had started showing. Little things I brushed off as stress from Marcus's latest project tanking at the box office. That night, I was dropping him off for what he called a make-or-break meeting in New York. This could turn everything around. "Babe," he'd said earlier, packing his designer suitcase with that effortless confidence. "Investors are lining up. Just a weekend and I'll be back with good news." I smiled, nodded, played the supportive wife role like I always did. Sophia clung to my leg in the terminal, her big brown eyes wide as she watched the hustle of travelers. She was unusually quiet, even for her, my little observer, always taking in more than she let on. Marcus knelt down to her level, ruffling her curly hair. "Be good for mommy, okay, princess? Daddy's gonna bring you back something special from the big apple. A toy from FAO Schwartz, maybe?" Sophia nodded slowly, but her grip on my hand tightened like a vice. Something in her eyes flickered, a shadow I couldn't quite place. He hugged me next, his cologne, that expensive one from Rodeo Drive, lingering. "Love you, Elena. Hold down the fort." Always with the fort analogy, as if our life was some siege he was defending from afar. I kissed him goodbye, watching as he strode toward security, his broad shoulders cutting through the crowd like he owned the place. Sophia and I turned to leave, weaving through the sea of roller bags and harried passengers. The airport's fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, amplifying my headache. "Come on, Mija," I said, scooping her up. "Time to head home. Maybe we'll stop for ice cream on the way. Your favorite, mint chocolate chip from that spot in Santa Monica?" But as we neared the sliding doors to the parking garage, Sophia squirmed in my arms. "Mommy, wait." Her voice was a whisper, urgent and small. I set her down, kneeling to her eye level amid the rush of people. "What's wrong, sweetie? You forget something?" She glanced around as if checking for eavesdroppers, then leaned in close, her breath warm against my ear. "We can't go home, Mommy. Daddy's doing something bad." "I heard him this morning. Please believe me." My heart stuttered. Believe her? Sophia had always had an active imagination. Stories of monsters under the bed, invisible friends, but this felt different. Her face was pale, eyes pleading. "What do you mean, bad? Like what, baby?" She swallowed hard, tears welling. He was on the phone in his office, really early, before breakfast. He said tonight when we're asleep, something's gonna happen. That he needs to be away so no one suspects. That we'll be gone and he'll get the money. Gone. The word hit like a punch. I forced a laugh, but it came out shaky. "Oh, honey, you must have misheard. Daddy's just stressed about work. Remember how he talks about deals falling through? It's probably that." But even as I said it, doubts crept in. Marcus had been distant lately. Late nights at the studio, secretive calls, snapping at me over small things. And last month, he'd insisted on upping our life insurance. "For the family, Elena, in case anything happens in this crazy town." I'd signed without question, trusting him. Sophia shook her head fiercely. "No, Mommy," he said our names. "You and me. That it has to look like an accident. Please don't make us go back. Believe me this time." This time. That stung because it wasn't the first. A few weeks ago, she'd mentioned seeing a strange man lurking near our driveway, a guy in a black SUV, watching the house. I'd chalked it up to her watching too many cartoons. Then she swore she heard Marcus arguing on the phone about ending it all. I'd dismissed it as eavesdropping on business drama. But now, with her tiny hand squeezing mine, terror in her eyes, I couldn't ignore it. What if? Okay, Sophia, I whispered, pulling her close. I believe you. We're not going home. Panic surged through me. Where to go? Our friends were all in Marcus's circle. Producers, actors, the LA elite who'd side with him in a heartbeat. My family was back in Texas, too far for a quick escape. And if Sophia was right, if Marcus had planned something sinister, going to the police without proof, would make me look paranoid. Let's get to the car, I said, hurrying us out. In the garage, I buckled her in, my hands trembling. As I slid into the driver's seat of our Tesla, I glanced in the rear view. Sophia hugged her stuffed unicorn, eyes wide. What now, Mommy? Good question. My mind raced. We couldn't just drive aimlessly. Marcus would expect us home soon. If he checked the home security app, he was obsessed with those cameras. He'd know something was up. I decided on a plan. We'd drive toward Malibu but park a few blocks from our house, hidden in the shadows of the palm-lined streets. Watch and wait. If nothing happened, maybe it was all a misunderstanding. If something did, well, I'd cross that bridge. The drive felt eternal. LA traffic crawling along the PCH with the ocean crashing below. Sophia was silent, staring out at the waves. You did good telling me, Mija, I said softly. You're so brave. She nodded, but her lip quivered. I was scared, Mommy. Daddy sounded mean. Not like Daddy. Mean. That word didn't fit the man. I'd married, the one who'd swept me off. My feet at a film festival, promising a life of adventure. But had I missed the signs? The gambling rumors I'd overheard at parties? The way our savings dipped without explanation? His insistence I quit my job as a graphic designer to focus on the family. We reached a quiet spot overlooking our street, close enough to see the modern glass house perched on the hill, lights glowing warmly. I killed the engine, the electric hum fading to silence. Now we wait, I whispered. Sophia curled up in the back, her eyes fixed on the house. Minutes ticked by. 8:30, 9, doubt crept in. Maybe Sophia had dreamed it. Maybe I was overreacting, dragging my child into paranoia. But at 9:45, headlights pierced the darkness. A black SUV, not ours, pulled up to our gate. My breath caught. Two men emerged, dressed in dark hoodies, moving with purpose. They didn't ring the bell. One punched in the code, our code, the one only Marcus and I knew. The gate swung open. Oh, God, I murmured. Sophia gasped. That's the man I saw before, Mommy. The men slipped inside, flashlights bobbing. No alarms. Marcus must have disabled them remotely. Minutes later, a faint acrid smell wafted on the breeze. Chemical. Like accelerant. Then smoke. Thin at first, curling from the vents. Then billowing as flames erupted in the living room windows. Our home, Sophia's nursery, my art studio, family photos, all consumed. Sirens wailed in the distance as the men fled in the SUV. I clutched the wheel, tears streaming. If we'd gone home. My phone buzzed. A text from Marcus. Landed safe in NYC. Miss you already. Sweet dreams to you and Sophia. The emoji mocked me. He knew. He was alibying himself while assassins torched our world. Rage boiled over. We have to run, Mommy, Sophia said, voice steady beyond her years. She was right. But where? As fire trucks arrived, I remembered my abuela's old friend, a retired LAPD detective in Pasadena. She'd given me his number years ago. If you're ever in trouble, call Rico. He's family. With shaking hands, I dialed. Rico's voice on the phone was gruff but kind, like a favorite uncle who'd seen too much. Elena, your abuela's granddaughter? What's wrong, kid? I spilled it all in a rush. The airport drop-off, Sophia's warning, the fire, while driving aimlessly east on the 10 freeway, away from Malibu's flames. Please, we need help. Nowhere to go. A pause, then. Get to my place. Pasadena, off Colorado Boulevard. I'll text the address. Drive safe, watch your mirrors. Relief washed over me, mixed with terror. Sophia dozed in the back, exhausted from the nightmare. Rico's house was a modest bungalow, lights on despite the late hour. He opened the door, a burly man in his 60s. Salt and pepper hair, eyes sharp from decades on the force. Come in, quick. He ushered us inside, locking the door with a deadbolt that clicked like finality. The living room smelled of coffee and old leather, walls lined with LAPD plaques. Sit, water, juice for the little one? Sophia clung to me, but Rico knelt down. Hey, champ. I'm Rico. Your great-grandma was my partner back in the day. You're safe here. She nodded timidly, accepting a cookie from a tin. I recounted everything again, showing him Marcus's text. Rico listened, nodding. Sounds like a setup. Insurance scam? Debts? I confessed the signs I'd ignored. Marcus's gambling whispers at Hollywood parties, our dipping bank accounts. His push for more life insurance, $3 million now. He said it was for Sophia's future. Rico snorted. Classic. I've seen it before, husbands torching lives for a payout. He fired up his laptop, pulling up news feeds. Sure enough, blaze engulfs Malibu mansion. Family feared inside. No mention of arson yet. But proof, I asked. It's Sophia's word and what I saw. Rico eyed Sophia gently. Kids don't lie about this stuff. We'll build a case. First, you two rest. Guest room's yours. Sleep came fitful, dreams of flames chasing us. Morning brought pancakes. Rico's attempt at normalcy. Sophia ate quietly but opened up. Daddy said on the phone, make it look like a gas leak. No traces. Rico noted it all. Smart kid, we'll use that. He had connections, a PI buddy who dug into Marcus. By noon, intel rolled in. Marcus owed $800K to shady Vegas lenders, his film flopping hard. He's desperate, Rico said. Planned this for months. We watched news. Marcus, devastated at LAX, flying back. My wife, my daughter, please God. Oscar-worthy acting, but his eyes? Cold calculation. Rico's plan, infiltrate the ruins for evidence. That night we snuck back, Rico in disguise, me and Sophia waiting in his truck. He returned with a charred hard drive from Marcus's office safe, code. Sophia's birthday, ironic. Might have emails, texts. His tech guy cracked it. Messages to fixers about the job. Has to be tonight. Alibi solid, proof. But Marcus knew we lived, called nonstop. Elena, where are you? I'm worried sick. Lies. Rico advised, lure him out. Public meet. Why are you up? Terror gripped me, but for Sophia? I'd do it. We set it at Griffith Observatory. Crowded, scenic. Marcus agreed. Tomorrow, 11 a.m., we talk. The meet was tense. Marcus approached, feigning relief. Elena! Sophia! Tried hugging. I recoiled. Why, Marcus? The fire? He denied, spun tales of enemies. But pressed, he cracked. I had no choice, the debts. But I love you. Recorded, cops swarmed. He bolted but was caught. Trial loomed. The morning after the fire, I woke up on Rico's lumpy guest room couch with Sophia curled against me like a frightened kitten. Sunlight streamed through the blinds, but it felt wrong, like the world should still be dark after what we'd witnessed. My phone, now on airplane mode to avoid Marcus tracking it, had 47 missed calls and a string of texts that made my stomach churn. Elena, please call me. I'm losing my mind. They're saying no bodies were found. Where are you? Babe, if you're safe, just let me know. I'm on my way back from New York. And the last one, sent at 4:12 a.m. We need to talk before you do something stupid. Rico knocked softly on the doorframe, holding 2 mugs of coffee. Morning, kid. Thought you could use this. He handed me one, then nodded toward the living room. Come see what my guy pulled off that hard drive overnight. Sophia stirred, rubbing her eyes. Mommy, is it safe to go home yet? My heart cracked right down the middle. Not yet, mija. But we're safe here with Mr. Rico. She nodded solemnly and padded out to watch cartoons on his old TV. Something normal in a world that had gone completely insane. In the kitchen, Rico's laptop was open to a folder labeled Marcus Ramirez Digital Evidence. His tech contact, a former LAPD cyber guy named Torres, had worked magic. Recovered emails, deleted texts routed through a burner app, even voice memos. Rico clicked the first file, an email thread from 2 months ago. From Marcus Ramirez to fixer77@protonmail.com. Subject, final arrangements. Need it done this weekend. I'll be in NYC Friday to Monday. Make it look like electrical fire. Gas line explosion if possible. Payout needs to clear fast. Half wired already, rest on completion. The reply was chillingly professional. Confirmed. Team of 2, no traces. Keys and alarm codes received. Job complete Saturday night. There were bank transfers. $50,000. From an offshore account Marcus had hidden from me. Photos of our house layout he'd sent them. Even a scanned copy of our updated life insurance policy. $3 million double indemnity for accidental death. My name and Sophia's listed as beneficiaries, but with Marcus as sole trustee until Sophia turned 18, he'd get every penny. I felt the coffee rise in my throat. He was going to collect on both of us, I whispered. Rico put a steady hand on my shoulder. Classic Black Widow play, except the husband's the spider. Seen it before, but never this cold. Kid involved? That's next level evil. More files. Gambling debts totaling $1.2 million now. Vegas. Underground poker rooms in Koreatown. Even crypto bets gone wrong. Threats from loan sharks. Photos of Sophia at her preschool playground with captions like "Pretty girl." Be a shame if... Marcus had forwarded those to the fixer with one line. Handle the source permanently. That's when the tears came. Not soft ones, but ugly, furious sobs. Rico let me cry it out, then handed me tissues. Anger's good, Elena. Use it. We've got enough here for an arrest warrant, but we do this smart. Marcus has friends, studio execs, lawyers, even a couple dirty cops on payroll. We go through channels he can't touch. He made calls while I pulled myself together. By noon, we were meeting Detective Sarah Kim, Homicide, LAPD Robbery Homicide Division. Known for being untouchable. Korean-American, sharp as a blade. Zero tolerance for Hollywood BS. Rico vouched for her. She locked up a producer for murdering his mistress last year. No plea deals. We met in a quiet diner in Eagle Rock, away from prying eyes. Sophia colored at the end of the booth while I laid everything out. Detective Kim listened without expression, scrolling through the drive on a secure tablet. When I finished, she closed it slowly. This is airtight for intent, but we need him to incriminate himself on tape. Right now, he's playing the grieving husband perfectly. Interviews on every channel. Crying about his missing family. Public sympathies with him. She leaned in. We set a meet. You contact him. Say you and Sophia are safe but scared. Asked to meet somewhere public. Griffith Observatory tomorrow morning. Touristy. Lots of civilians. Easy for us to cover. My stomach knotted. He'll know I suspect. Kim shook her head. Not if you play scared wife who thinks it was his enemies. Say you grabbed some files running from the fire. Hint you know about the debts. He'll panic, try to talk you into coming home. Or worse. Either way, he'll dig his own grave. That night, back at Rico's, I turned my phone off airplane mode just long enough to text Marcus. Me. We're alive, scared. Grab some things from your office before the fire got bad. We need to meet. Griffith Observatory, 11 a.m. tomorrow. Come alone. His reply was instant. Marcus. Thank God. I've been dying inside. Of course, baby. I'll be there. We'll fix this. I showed Rico and Kim. She'd sent plainclothes to watch the house. Kim nodded approval. He's hooked. Sleep was impossible. I kept seeing flames, hearing Sophia's whisper at the airport. At 3 a.m., I slipped into the guest room where she slept. Moonlight lit her face. Peaceful now, but I knew nightmares would come. I brushed hair from her forehead and promised silently, I will protect you. No matter what. Morning came too fast. Detective Kim wired me personally, a tiny mic in my necklace pendant. Audio and GPS. We'll be all over the park, undercover families, joggers, vendors. If he tries anything, we move in. Rico drove us. Sophia stayed with Torres's wife, safe, playing with their grandkids. I kissed her goodbye. Be brave for Mommy today, okay? She hugged me tight. You be brave too. Griffith Observatory at 11 a.m. was busy, tourists. Snapping photos of the Hollywood sign, kids running around the lawn. I sat on a bench overlooking the city, heart pounding. At 11:03, I saw him. Marcus looked rough, unshaven, eyes red, wearing yesterday's clothes for the cameras. But as he approached, that charming smile flickered on. Elena! He opened his arms. I stood but didn't move forward. Don't touch me. My voice shook, but I held ground. The smile faltered. He glanced around, nervous. Good. Baby, you're safe. That's all that matters. He sat beside me too close. Where's Sophia? With people who aren't trying to kill her. His face hardened for a split second before the mask slipped back. You've got it wrong. Those debts, dangerous people threatened us. I was trying to protect you by being away. Stop. I pulled out printouts, email screenshots. I have everything, Marcus. The fixer, the insurance, the plan to make it look accidental. His eyes darted to the papers, then to my face, calculating. You don't understand the pressure I was under. Voice low now, menacing. Hand those over, Elena. Come home. We disappear. New names, new life. The payout's still good if we stage it right later. I almost laughed. You're still trying to kill us? No, modify the plan. Just you sign some papers. Small accident, I collect. We live like kings in Costa Rica. That was it, the confession. I saw Kim's team moving in peripherally, but Marcus saw too. Panic flashed. He grabbed my arm hard. You're making a mistake. Then he bolted, shoving tourists, sprinting down the path toward the parking lot. Undercover officers gave chase. I stood frozen as shouts erupted. Marcus vaulted a railing, desperation making him fast. But a plainclothes detective tackled him on the grass. Cuffs clicked. He screamed my name, rage and fear mixing. Elena, you'll regret this. Kim helped me stand. It's over. But as they dragged him to the car, Marcus locked eyes with me one last time and smiled. A cold, knowing smile that said, this isn't finished. Because in the chaos, I hadn't noticed his free hand slip something small into his pocket before the tackle. A phone? A flash drive? Something he wasn't supposed to have. And that smile told me he still had an ace up his sleeve. Marcus was in custody, booked on suspicion of conspiracy to commit murder, arson, insurance fraud. Bail hearing in 48 hours. Detective Kim assured me the evidence was ironclad. No judge in LA will let him out with this much smoke, literal and figurative. But that smile haunted me. Rico moved us to a safe house in the San Fernando Valley. Nondescript stucco, barred windows, alarm system he personally upgraded. Sophia sensed the tension but tried to be brave, drawing pictures of unicorns and rainbows to make the new house happy. That first night, I couldn't sleep. At 2 a.m., I checked news on Rico's secure laptop. Marcus's arrest was everywhere. TMZ, Deadline, even CNN. Hollywood producer, accused of plotting to kill wife and daughter for insurance money. His headshot next to mine and Sophia's, fans in shock. Industry friends suddenly always knew he was shady. Then a breaking update. Sources say Ramirez claims his wife fabricated evidence due to mental instability post-fire trauma. My blood ran cold. He was already spinning a counter-narrative. Morning brought worse news. Kim called. Judge granted bail, $1 million. Some studio buddy posted it. He's out, wearing an ankle monitor. Ordered to stay 500 yards from you and Sophia. How? I nearly screamed. Clean public image, no priors, high-powered attorney. It happens. Rico cursed in Spanish. He's not done. Men like that don't quit. We doubled security. Rico sleeping on the couch, gun nearby. But 2 nights later, it happened again. I woke to the smell of smoke. Not heavy, faint, chemical. I bolted upright, heart slamming. The hallway nightlight flickered. Rico! I yelled, grabbing Sophia. He was already up, weapon drawn, checking rooms. Back door forced open. A small device on the kitchen counter hissed softly, trails of smoke curling up. Incendiary. Military grade, Rico muttered. Time to fill the house with toxic fumes while we slept. But the alarm battery had been tampered with, no alert. We evacuated to the front yard as fire trucks arrived. Neighbors gawked. Kim showed up fast, face grim. Same signature accelerant as your Malibu house. Professional. Marcus had an alibi. Ankle monitor showed him at his lawyer's. Bel Air mansion all night. But we all knew. Money buys alibis. Buys hitmen who don't mind doing overtime. Sophia clung to me in the ambulance, oxygen mask too big for her face. Mommy, why does Daddy keep trying to make fire? I had no answer. Next day, Kim brought news. The 2 arsonists from Malibu? Found dead in a Mojave Desert ravine, execution style. Cleaning house, she said. Marcus tying loose ends. But here's where it turned. One of them had a burner phone. Last outgoing call, Marcus's lawyer's office. And a text sent hours before death. Job 2 failed. Need final payment or we talk? Marcus wasn't just trying to kill us. He was in a war with his own hired killers, and we were collateral. Kim moved us to a federal safe house. Real protection now. U.S. Marshals. But Marcus went underground. Cut his ankle monitor. Vanished. Massive manhunt. His face on every screen. Armed and dangerous. Weeks blurred. Sophia started therapy. I barely ate. Then one night, my burner phone, the one only Kim and Rico had, rang. Unknown number, I answered. Elena. Marcus's voice, calm, almost tender. You're making this harder than it needs to be. I signaled Kim's team listening in. You're done, Marcus. Turn yourself in. Laughter. You still don't get it. The people I owe? They don't care about prison. They want their money. Only way I get it is the insurance. You think Witsec can protect you forever? Where are you? Closer than you think. Click. Trace failed. Burner. Bounced signal. 2 days later, Sophia's preschool, now closed to her, received a delivery. A unicorn plushie. Exact replica of her favorite that burned in Malibu. Inside, a tiny camera and microphone. He was watching, waiting. Kim's team swept the safe house. Found another device in my car's undercarriage. GPS tracker. We moved again. And again. Then the call that changed everything. Rico, voice shaking. Elena, your abuela's old safety deposit box. She left instructions with her lawyer. Said only open if Marcus ever shows his true face. I just got access. Inside, documents going back years. Bank records, photos, a ledger. My abuela, sweet, church-going woman, had been quietly investigating Marcus since our engagement. She never trusted him. Hired a PI, found earlier wives? No, earlier girlfriends. 2, both died in accidents. 1 boating, 1 car crash. Both with large insurance policies paid to Marcus. He'd done this before and escaped every time. But this time we had something he didn't expect. Sophia's testimony. At 5, she was young, but California law allowed child statements, if corroborated, and we had mountains of evidence. Trial date set. Marcus still at large, but feds confident he'd surface. They were wrong, because on the day of opening statements, as I walked into the downtown courthouse flanked by marshals, a black SUV screeched up. Door flew open. Marcus, disguised, but I knew those eyes, gun raised. Shots rang out. I dove, covering Sophia, but the bullets weren't for us. They hit the lead marshal. Chaos erupted. Marcus grabbed Sophia, ripped her from my arms, and ran. The courthouse steps exploded into chaos. Gunshots cracked the air like thunder. Screams erupted everywhere. I hit the ground hard, marshals shoving me down, shields up. But in that split second of confusion, Marcus was already moving, fast, trained almost. Like he'd rehearsed this 100 times in his twisted mind. He lunged straight for Sophia. My baby girl was right beside me, holding my hand one moment, gone the next. His arm hooked around her waist, lifting her like she weighed nothing. She screamed, a high, piercing sound that cut through everything. "Mommy!" I scrambled up, lunging after them. "Sophia!" A marshal grabbed me back as return fire boomed. Bullets sparked off the SUV's door. Marcus dove inside with Sophia, the vehicle peeling out before the doors even fully closed. Tires screeched. Horns blared. The black SUV fishtailed through downtown traffic, running red lights, disappearing around a corner. I collapsed on the concrete, lungs burning, screaming her name until my voice broke. Detective Kim was there in seconds, barking orders into her radio. "APB now. Black Tahoe. Partial plate Lima Charlie 7. Child abduction. 5-year-old female. Sofia Ramirez. Suspect armed and extremely dangerous." Sirens wailed from every direction. Choppers thumped overhead within minutes. The entire city locked down. Freeways, ports, airports on alert. Marcus's face blasted across every screen. Every phone, every billboard. America's Most Wanted. But he was gone. With my daughter. The next hours blurred into a nightmare haze. Command center set up at LAPD headquarters. Feds took over. FBI child abduction rapid deployment team flown in from Quantico. I sat in a cold interview room, wrapped in a blanket, answering the same questions over and over. Did he say anything to her? Any indication where he might go? I shook my head, numb. He just took her. Rico stormed in at some point, face like stone. "We're gonna find her, Elena. I swear on everything." But even his voice cracked. They pulled cell tower pings. Marcus ditched his phone immediately. No hits on facial recognition at airports or train stations. The SUV was found abandoned in a long, beach parking garage 3 hours. Later, wiped clean. Fake plates. A dead end. Then came the first call. My burner rang at 2:17 a.m., the one only law enforcement had. I snatched it up on speaker, Kim and the team recording. "Mommy?" Sophia's tiny voice trembling with tears. "Sophia, baby, are you okay?" "Where are you?" She sniffled. "I'm scared. Daddy said we're playing a game, but I don't like it." Marcus's voice cut in, cold and controlled. "She's fine, for now. You want her back? Stop the hunt." Kim mouthed, "Keep him talking." "What do you want, Marcus?" "Simple, drop all charges. Public statement saying you fabricated everything. Post-traumatic stress. Whatever. Then wire the insurance advance. There's a pre-approved $500K for bereavement. Send it to the account I text you. Do that and Sophia comes home. You're insane if you think, TikTok, Elena, you have 24 hours. After that, well, accidents happen. Click. The room erupted. Trace failed again. Voice masked through an app. Location scrambled. But Sophia's background noise. Analysts enhanced it. Faint seagulls. Ship horns. Ocean. He was near the water. Long Beach? San Pedro? Marina del Rey? Roadblocks went up at every marina. Dive teams. Coast Guard. But LA's coastline is massive. Then another clue. Security footage from the garage. Marcus switching vehicles. A gray minivan, rented under a fake ID 2 weeks ago. Plate captured. Bolos everywhere. I barely slept. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Sophia's terrified face. Dawn brought a breakthrough. A traffic cam in San Pedro. Gray. Minivan heading toward the docks at 4 a.m. Port police swept the area. Found the van abandoned near a private yacht slip. A yacht named Second Act. Registered to a shell company. Traced back to one of Marcus's old production entities. FBI SWAT moved in at dusk. I insisted on going. Rode in the command van, heart in my throat. Night vision feeds showed the boat dark, rocking gently in the slip. No movement. They breached. Cleared deck by deck. Empty. But signs of recent occupancy. Sophia's unicorn, the one with the hidden camera, on the galley table. Her little sneakers by the bunk. A half-eaten kid's meal. A note, handwritten in Marcus's script. Too slow. She's safe for now. New instructions tomorrow. Stop chasing, or the next place I leave her won't be so comfortable. He'd been one step ahead again. The team found something else. A manifest. The yacht had fuel for a long trip. Mexico, maybe farther. Catalina, Ensenada. Coast Guard expanded search radius. Mexican authorities alerted, but Marcus was a producer. He knew drama, timing, misdirection. Midnight brought the second call. This time video. My phone buzzed. Unknown link. I opened it with the team watching. Marcus's face filled the screen, smirking. Behind him, Sophia, tied to a chair in what looked like a dim cabin, tears streaking her cheeks, mouth gagged with duct tape. I gasped, hand over my mouth. Hello, Elena. Thought you'd like proof of life. He panned the camera to show today's newspaper headline about the abduction and, see? She's fine. He ripped the tape off. Sophia whimpered. Mommy. Tell Mommy what I told you. She sobbed. He said, if you don't stop the police, he'll leave me somewhere dark, forever. Marcus smiled. You heard her. 48 hours now. Drop everything. Wire the money. Or little Sophia takes a swim with weights. The feed cut. I broke then. Full collapse, screaming, pounding the table until Rico held me down. But in the background noise of that video, analysts caught it again. A distinctive foghorn pattern. Only one place on the California coast has that exact sequence. Point Vicente Lighthouse, Palos Verdes. He hadn't left LA waters at all. He was hiding in plain sight. SWAT mobilized again. Dawn raid planned. But Marcus? He was counting on us finding the yacht, because the real trap was waiting somewhere else entirely. Rage and terror mixed into something feral inside me. That night, I couldn't stay in the command tent anymore. I slipped out, walked Avalon's empty streets. The island felt haunted. My phone buzzed. Unknown number again. I answered immediately. Mommy? Sophia's voice, weaker now. Baby, I'm here. I'm on the island. Marcus took the phone. Good, you're close. One last chance. Come alone. Bring the wire instructions. East End, Shark Harbor, Trailhead. Midnight. Any teams, any tricks. She dies. How do I know she's still... He put Sophia back on. Mommy, I'm cold. Then he hung up. Kim wanted to set a trap. Snipers, trackers. But I refused. He'll kill her the second he smells a setup. I went alone. Well, not completely. Rico insisted on shadowing from distance, against orders. Midnight. Shark Harbor Trailhead. Pitch black. Just moonlight on waves crashing below cliffs. I walked the dirt path, flashlight off, heart hammering. Marcus, I called. Silence. Then footsteps behind me. I spun. He stepped from the shadows, gun in one hand, Sophia in front of him like a shield, gagged again, eyes wide with tears. Mommy. Elena, Marcus said calmly. Phone, toss it. I threw it into the brush. Good. Now the wire instructions. I didn't bring them. His face darkened. Then she's no use to me. He raised the gun to her head. No, I stepped forward. Stop, or I shoot. We stood frozen, wind howling. That's when Rico emerged from the dark, silent, weapon trained. Drop it, Marcus. Marcus spun, using Sophia as cover. Standoff. Rico, no, I whispered. Marcus laughed. Old man thinks he's a hero. Then, movement in the brush. FBI tactical. Kim hadn't trusted me to go truly alone. Snipers in position. Marcus realized too late. He shoved Sophia toward the cliff edge, toward a 200-foot drop into rocks and sea. Time slowed. I ran. Dove. Grabbed her arm just as she teetered. We fell together, but inward onto solid ground. Gunshots cracked. Marcus jerked, hit multiple times. Fell backward, over the edge, into darkness, silence. Then Sophia's sobs in my arms. Agents swarmed, medics, choppers. But I just held her and cried. Marcus's body recovered at dawn, broken on the rocks below. It was over, or so we thought. Because 3 days later, back on the mainland, going through his seized assets, they found something. A second insurance policy, taken out 6 months ago. Beneficiary, unknown offshore trust. And a final video file, time-stamped the day of the courthouse escape. Marcus's face smiling. If you're watching this, I'm dead. But the plan continues. The people I owed, they don't forgive debts. And now, they'll collect from what's left. From you, and from Sophia. The screen went black. Hey family, we're rolling straight of Shadows in the Sunset. And this one is going to shift everything you thought you knew. If you're new here, stop right now and go back to part 1. These twists hit harder when you've lived through every moment with Elena and Sophia. As always, smash that subscribe button, drop a like, and flood the comments with your city, Brooklyn, Nashville, San Diego, Boise. I'm seeing comments from all over America, and it's blowing my mind. How far this story is reaching. Let's keep that energy going. Now, deep breath. Here we go. Marcus was dead. His body, broken, battered by rocks and waves, was positively ID'd by dental records and DNA within 48 hours. The coroner ruled it accidental death during commission of a felony. Case closed on the abduction, the arson, the attempted murders. The headline screamed, Hollywood nightmare ends in tragedy. Talk shows dissected his fall from grace. Old colleagues distanced themselves. The world moved on. But that video file, the one he'd left behind like a poisoned, parting gift, kept playing in my head. The people I owed, they don't forgive debts. And now, they'll collect from what's left. From you and from Sophia. I tried to tell myself it was a bluff, a final mind game from beyond the grave. Detective Kim said the same. Loan sharks don't chase widows and kids. They write off dead debtors and move on. The FBI closed their file. We were moved out of protective custody into a quiet apartment in Pasadena, new names pending, new schools for Sophia, new everything. For the first few weeks, it almost felt normal. Sophia started kindergarten under her new last name. She smiled more, had playdates, drew pictures of our new adventure house. Therapy helped. Nightmares faded. I got a remote graphic design job, something low-key. No Hollywood connections. Rico checked in every day. Auntie Z style, that's what we started calling him. Life crept toward healing. Then the first package arrived. No return address. Delivered to our apartment by a private courier, who vanished before the doorman could ask questions. Inside, a single Polaroid. Sophia at her new school playground, mid-laugh on the swings. Taken that same morning. On the back, written in red marker, pretty girl. Payment overdue. My hands shook so badly I dropped the photo. I called Kim immediately. She was there in 20 minutes with a forensics team. Prints wiped clean. Postmark nondescript. But the paper stock? High-end, traceable to a specialty shop in Las Vegas. The same city where Marcus's biggest gambling debts were racked up. Kim's face went tight. This could be a copycat. Someone who read the news and wants to scare you, or Marcus's creditors are real, I finished. She didn't argue. Security ramped up again. Unmarked cars outside the apartment. Plain clothes at Sophia's school. But 2 weeks later, another delivery. This time a small black box. Inside a gold bracelet. The one I'd lost in the Malibu. Fire, my grandmother's heirloom. I'd worn on my wedding day. How? With it, a flash drive. Kim played it in a secure room. A man's voice, deep, calm, Eastern European accent. Mrs. Ramirez, or whatever you call yourself now. Your husband owed my employers $12 million with interest. He promised collateral. When he died, that debt transferred. We are patient, but not endless. You have assets, insurance settlement pending. Sell the story rights. Hollywood loves tragedy. Pay what you can, or we begin collecting in other ways. The screen flickered to video. Drone footage circling our apartment building. Zooming in on our windows. On Sophia's bedroom. Message ended with coordinates and a date, 3 days from now. A parking lot in downtown Vegas. Kim wanted to set up a sting. Feds wanted to trace the voice. But I knew these people weren't street thugs. They were organized, international. Rico pulled me aside that night. I've still got old contacts from the force. One guy, undercover vice in Vegas for years, says there's a syndicate out of Bucharest that finances high-roller gambling. They don't bluff. They disappear people. I couldn't sleep. Sophia's soft breathing in the next room was the only thing keeping me sane. Next morning, I made a decision. I called the number left on the drive. A man answered on the second ring. Same voice. You're smart to call. What do you want? 10 million within 6 months. We know the insurance payout is 3. Sell the movie rights. Every streamer will bid. Your story is gold. Pay in installments. Or we take the girl. Simple. I'm not selling my trauma. Laughter. Everyone sells eventually. Ask your husband. Click. Kim traced the call. Burner. Routed through Estonia. Dead end. But they made one mistake. They underestimated me. I wasn't the naive wife anymore. I started digging myself. With Rico's help. We accessed Marcus's old cloud backups. The ones the feds missed because they were hidden behind fake production folders. Thousands of files, scripts, budgets, contracts, and one encrypted folder labeled backup plan. Password? Sophia's birthday plus our wedding date. Inside, ledgers. Not just debts, names, shell companies, offshore accounts holding $14.2 million. Marcus hadn't lost everything gambling. He'd been laundering for these same people, using his films to clean their money. The debts weren't gambling losses. They were his cut he'd skimmed. He'd stolen from them. And when they pressed, he tried to fake our deaths to cash the insurance and run. The video wasn't a threat from creditors. It was revenge. Pure and simple. Rico whistled low when he saw the numbers. This changes everything. If we can prove Marcus was working with them, then stole. The feds will reopen this as Rico. International Task Force. These guys will have bigger problems than you. But we needed more. Proof they were actively threatening us now. So I did something insane. I agreed to the Vegas meet. Kim was furious. It's suicide. But we turned it into the sting. I flew commercial, alone, wired up. Tracked by GPS, feds and Vegas Metro SWAT on standby. The parking lot was a deserted top level of a casino. Garage on the strip, cameras conveniently. Malfunctioning, I waited by my rental car at dusk. A black Mercedes rolled up, tinted windows. 2 men got out, big suited earpieces. The one with the accent approached. Mrs. Ramirez, you're punctual. Where's your boss? He prefers distance. You brought proof of funds transfer? I held up a tablet showing a fake wire screen, FBI cyber magic. He smiled. Good start. 2 million today. Rest scheduled. Then he handed me an envelope. Inside, new photos of Sophia at dance class yesterday. And a burner phone for future instructions. That was it. The moment he took the tablet to verify, Kim's voice in my ear, we have visual confirmation, move in. But nothing happened. No SWAT. No sirens. The man checked the tablet, frowned. Screen glitched. FBI watermark hidden in the code triggered wrong. He looked up. Smile gone. You're wasting my time. He drew a gun. Silencer. I froze. Then, gunfire. Not at me. At him. His partner dropped first. Headshot. The accented man spun, returning fire. Chaos. A third figure, masked, black tactical gear, emerged from the shadows. Professional, took out the second bodyguard. The accented man dove behind the Mercedes. Masked figure advanced, calm. Then, directly to me. Get down. Voice distorted. I dropped. More shots. Silence. When I looked up, all 3 men were dead. Masked figure gone. Only a note left on my windshield. In block letters. Debt settled. Stay quiet. Or we come back for the child. Security cameras wiped. No brass. No traces. Professionals cleaning up professionals. Kim arrived minutes later, team delayed by traffic jam. That wasn't on any feed. She looked at the scene, pale. These weren't the collectors. They were middlemen. Someone higher up just sent a message. We flew home that night. Sophia ran into my arms like nothing had happened. But everything had, because 2 weeks later, the insurance company finally released the payout. $3 million, deposited into a trust for Sophia and me. And the very next day, an anonymous wire came in. $10 million from an account in the Caymans. With a single message, from Marcus's backup plan. Use it wisely. We're even. No name, no trace. Rico stared at the bank alert like it was a ghost. Someone out there just paid his debt for him. Who? He shook his head. That's the thing, Elena. In this world, could be an enemy settling a score. Could be a partner tying loose ends. Or could be Marcus wasn't as dead as we thought. I laughed, bitter, broken. He fell 200 feet onto rocks. Body ID'd. Rico didn't smile. Bodies can be switched. Dental records altered if you own the right people. I stared at him. You think he's alive? I think in Hollywood people fake deaths for a living. And that night, Sophia woke up screaming. Not the usual fire nightmare. This time she said, Daddy was in my dream. He said he's coming home soon. For 3 months, life was quiet. Too quiet. The 10 million wire sat untouched, in a secure account while federal auditors tried to trace it, dead ends every time. Kim's task force chased ghosts. The triple homicide in Vegas was ruled gang-related. Case closed fast. Pressure from above. Sophia settled into first grade. Made real friends. Started soccer. Laughed again. The full belly laugh I hadn't heard since before the fire. I dated once. A nice teacher from her school. Coffee only. It felt strange. Like wearing someone else's skin. Rico retired officially but kept consulting on our case. Became family. Sunday dinners at his place. Tamales. Stories about my abuela. Normalcy we all clung to. Then the letters started. Handwritten. Delivered to the apartment mailbox. No postage, no fingerprints. First one. I miss my girls. Marcus's handwriting. Verified by experts. Second. Soon. Third. Look behind you. I stopped sleeping. Cameras swept the building. Nothing. No breaches. Like a ghost was mailing them. Kim moved us again. Third identity. House in the Inland Empire this time. Quiet suburb, good schools. But the fourth letter found us there. Inside the new mailbox. Same handwriting. This time with a photo. Me and Sophia at the park, taken 2 days earlier. On the back, new house looks cozy. See you soon. That's when I snapped. I called the only person who might understand organized shadows. The accented man had mentioned employers in Bucharest. Rico had a contact, an ex-CIA guy turned private security in Eastern Europe. We flew him in. He studied everything, then dropped the bomb. Your husband didn't just launder for them. He was grooming to take over West Coast operations. When he tried to run with their money, they put the contract out. But someone counter-contracted, paid more to keep you alive. Who? He shrugged. Could be a rival syndicate. Could be a silent partner Marcus had. Or Marcus himself, I finished. He nodded, staging death, eliminating the collectors, paying the debt with his own hidden funds. Classic misdirection. Buys time. Lets heat die down. Then he returns as the hero who barely survived, or the victim who was forced to hide. Public eats it up. Charges dropped. Money clean. I felt sick. But the body... Coroner was pressured. Or bought. Happens. We went back to the morgue records. One anomaly. The body had a surgical pin in the leg, from an old injury. Marcus didn't have that injury. The dead man did, identified as a John Doe from San Diego. Similar build, dental work hastily matched. Switched. Marcus was alive. And coming. Kim reopened everything, quietly this time. No leaks. We set the trap. Public statement from me, tearful interview on a major network. I just want closure. If Marcus is out there, come home. We can start over. Planted stories about the insurance money being released fully. Greed and ego, his weaknesses. We waited. 2 weeks later, Sophia's school had a daddy-daughter dance. She didn't have a daddy anymore. Or so we thought. I volunteered as chaperone, stationed inside, plainclothes everywhere. The gym was decorated with twinkling lights, kids in dresses, proud dads in suits. Music played. Then the power flickered. Lights dimmed. Emergency lights kicked on. Panic started. That's when he walked in. Marcus. Clean-shaven, new haircut, wearing a cheap suit like any other dad. Smiling. Straight towards Sophia, who stood frozen near the punch table. Daddy? He opened his arms. She ran to him. Hugged him. My world stopped. Hidden cameras rolled. He whispered something in her ear. She nodded, then looked at me across the room, smiled. Marcus looked up too, locked eyes with me, mouthed, "I won." Agents moved in from every door, but the lights cut completely. Darkness, screams, backup lights failed, sabotaged. 30 seconds of chaos. When power returned, Marcus and Sophia were gone. Only a note in my purse, in his handwriting, "Borrowing my daughter for the weekend. Don't worry, I'll bring her back when you transfer everything. New account details soon. Call the cops and she disappears forever. This time for real." Kim stormed the building, found the saboteur, a janitor paid off. But Marcus vanished, with my baby, again, and this time no body to chase. No trail, just a father and daughter, and whatever hell he had planned next. I fell to my knees in that empty gym, surrounded by balloons and streamers, screaming her name, while somewhere out there, Marcus was driving into the night. Free, rich, and with the only leverage that mattered. My little girl. The note burned in my hand. "Borrowing my daughter for the weekend. Don't worry, I'll bring her back when you transfer everything. New account details soon. Call the cops and she disappears forever. This time for real." I didn't call the cops. Not at first. I sat on the gym floor surrounded by deflated balloons and spilled punch, reading those words over and over until they blurred. Parents and kids were evacuated. Kim screamed orders. Rico held me up when my legs gave out. But inside, something switched. No more running. No more waiting for rescue. This ended on my terms. I waited until the chaos died down, until they moved me to yet another safe house. Then, in the quiet of 3 a.m., I opened the burner phone Marcus had planted in my purse months ago, the one I'd kept hidden even from Kim. I texted the number saved as M. "Me, you win. I'll transfer everything. Name the place." Reply came in seconds. "Marcus, smart girl. You always were. Santa Monica Pier, Ferris wheel. Tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Buy 2 tickets. Top of the wheel, private car. Come alone. Bring proof of transfer ready on your phone. Sophia will be waiting." I stared at the message until dawn. Kim found out anyway. Of course she did. I'd left digital crumbs on purpose. She stormed in at sunrise. "You're not doing this." "I am. It's suicide. He'll kill you both the second he has the money." "Maybe. But if I don't go, he'll vanish with her forever. You know it." We argued for hours. Rico sided with me, quietly. "She's right. He's too slippery for another snatch and grab. This is the only way to draw him out clean." Kim hated it, but she saw the steel in my eyes. We compromised. A plan, painstaking, high risk, but the only one that gave Sophia a real chance. The next 36 hours were a blur of preparation. FBI techs built a perfect duplicate. Banking app on my phone showed massive transfers completing, but reversible with a hidden code. Snipers trained on the pier's wheel for weeks. Wind patterns, lighting, escape routes. Plainclothes everywhere, tourists, vendors, carnival workers. A body double for me in case he watched from afar. And the hardest part? A tiny GPS tracker and mic sewn into the lining of Sophia's favorite unicorn backpack, the one she'd clung to through every move. If Marcus took her again, we'd follow. Night fell. Santa Monica Pier glowed like a postcard. Lights reflecting on the ocean. Laughter, music, the giant Ferris wheel turning slow against the stars. I walked alone down the boardwalk, heart hammering so loud I swore people could hear. Ticket in hand. 10 p.m. car reserved. I boarded. The wheel turned. Higher, higher. Stopped at the top. Door opened. Marcus stepped in, smiling, casual, like we were on a date. Sophia sat beside him, eyes red from crying, but unharmed. "Mommy!" I lunged forward. Marcus raised a small pistol. Stay there. Phone out. Show me the transfer screen. I held it up, $13 million ready to wire. Everything we had. His eyes gleamed. "Do it." Fingers trembling, I pressed confirm. Numbers spun. Transfer complete. He checked his own phone. Grinned. "Pleasure doing business." Then he turned the gun on Sophia. My world stopped. But I only need one hostage now. I screamed, dove forward. The car rocked violently. Gunshot, deafening in the enclosed space. But not at Sophia. At me. Pain exploded in my shoulder. I hit the floor. Marcus stood over me. "You really thought I'd let either of you live? With what you know?" Sophia screamed. Then glass shattered. Sniper round, through the window, into Marcus's shoulder. He dropped the gun, screamed. The car rocked again as SWAT fast-roped from above. Door ripped open. Agents poured in. Marcus fought, wild, desperate. Grabbed Sophia. Tried to shield himself. But Rico was there, first one in. He didn't hesitate. Tackled Marcus. Pried Sophia free. I crawled forward, blood soaking my shirt. Reached for her. "Mommy!" She ran into my arms. Agents cuffed Marcus, bleeding, cursing, defeated. For real this time. Medics swarmed. Choppers, lights, chaos. But I just held my daughter. Held her and cried. Marcus was airlifted under heavy guard, alive. But charged with everything this time. No bail, no escape, trial fast-tracked, life without parole, no appeals left. It ended, really ended. 5 years later, the sun rises slow and golden over the Pacific, painting the sky in pinks and oranges that no filter could ever capture. I sit on the balcony of our little house in Monterey, nothing fancy, just ours. Paid for clean, no ghosts in the walls. Sophia, now 10, long legs, wild curls, that same observant spark in her eyes, runs past me in soccer cleats, backpack bouncing. "Mom, bus in 10. I smile. "Lunch packed?" "Yes, and I didn't forget my shin guards this time." She kisses my cheek, quick, embarrassed, but real, and dashes out the door. I watch her go. Wave at the bus stop where she meets her best friends. No security detail, no fear. Just a kid being a kid. Inside, the house smells like coffee and pancakes. Photos on the walls. Sophia's first goal. Her art show ribbon. Rico at her graduation from elementary, he cried, wouldn't admit it. My degree on the shelf, graphic design, finally finished. My nonprofit's award for helping domestic violence survivors rebuild their lives. I run it now, full-time. We help women disappear the right way. New names, new starts, safety plans that actually work. Rico's on the board, calls himself retired muscle. Kim visits every Christmas, brings terrible gifts and amazing stories. Marcus, still in prison, federal supermax. No contact, no appeals. Just a footnote now. I kept the money, most of it, not for luxury, for freedom, college funds, therapy, the nonprofit, and this house, with the balcony facing the ocean, where every morning I drink coffee and watch the sunrise. Some nights I still wake up smelling smoke. Some days I see a man in a crowd who looks too much like him, and my heart races. Trauma doesn't vanish. It just gets smaller, quieter, manageable. Sophia has her moments too. Nightmares, questions. Why did Daddy do it? I answer honestly now. He was sick, broken in a way we couldn't fix. But that wasn't your fault or mine. And the love you remember, the park days, the bedtime stories, that was real to you. You're allowed to keep the good parts and let go of the bad. She nods, processes, heals. She's strong, resilient, funny, kind. Everything he wasn't, and everything I hoped she'd become. Today is the 5-year anniversary of the pier. I don't mark it with sadness anymore. I mark it with gratitude, because we survived, we rebuilt. From ashes, something stronger grew. My phone buzzes. Text from Sophia at school. "Mom, can we get ice cream after practice? Mint chip?" I smile. Reply, "Always, mija, always." I set the phone down, sip my coffee, watch the waves roll in. And for the first time in a long time, I don't feel afraid of tomorrow, because tomorrow is ours. We earned it. We fought for it. And no one can take it away. The sun climbs higher. A new day, a new life. And it is beautiful.